So the first ever National Digital Skills Forum was launched on Friday, and this is where Communications Minister Mondli Gungubele gave the keynote address. The forum is bringing together and bringing to light the importance of digital literacy and some of the strides made towards embracing digital technology in South Africa. And the Minister joins us now. Good morning, Minister. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Iman. Happy belated New Year.
It's March now, you know, okay. But I'll take it because we need all the good wishes we can possibly get. This is an important initiative. I know that SA Connect has been an ongoing project in terms of closing the digital divide in South Africa. But this National Digital Skills Forum just gives South Africans just a 1-minute highlight, or 30-second highlight, I should say, of what it aims to do.
The purpose of the Digital Skills Forum is amassing all the initiatives, putting them together, whose intention is to enhance the capabilities to make use of the online services. In other words, it's one thing to connect people online. It's another to make that effectively by being able to innovate, to do data analysis and all those kind of things. We call it meaningful connectivity. Connectivity is critical, central. That's what is happening in the world now. We connect, number one, I say connectivity, but as we fast-tracked it during this current financial year, for instance, I can say to you, just this current financial year, we've connected no less than 361,000 households. As I'm speaking to you now, since I reported in February, we talk about 560-plus household thousand. By the end of financial year, we hope to have connected 647,000 households. But what is key is the access poor people have when these connectivities are done in the rural community and townships. They have got access to a gig for about R5. They pay around about 240 something a month. If you know where the gig, general, how is it actually costing, is about 80 and above a gig. But once government has intervened in the areas where we've already intervened, our people have got access to a R5 per gig.
That particular piece is a big deal, and I believe it's part of this bigger project to connect 5 million households, especially in the rural areas, between now and 2028 to free Wi-Fi. So talk to us about progress. I mean, I think you mentioned 361,000 households and counting. You're hoping that this goal will then be accomplished over the next few years. How do you achieve universal access?
As I'm saying to you, we are connecting rural communities and townships. We achieve this by making sure that there's a partnership between government and small business. We normally refer to them as internet service providers. So roughly now, I think we've got about no less than 100 SMMEs or 70-something that are already participating in the program. In other words, it's not just connectivity program, it's also SMME development program. It also takes into account that we were in one world forum in New York recently where they discussed the 5 pillars that SMMEs need in order to stay apace with the economic activities as the world is moving today. So those are issues. You are enhancing SMMEs, but millions of our people, especially the poor, have got access to these services, and they are able to communicate with their government irrespective of a distance.
So what would it look like for them, Minister?
Let me just use the Kokstad. Kokstad, we launched not long ago 1,600 houses, where what we call as mesh network is what actually was installed there. What does it mean? In those communities, rural communities, in those communities, there's continuous connectivity, whether children are playing in the street or they are swimming. But what is the issue? I can use 2 or 3 houses. In one house, that one was trending, I think it was covered. Children of poor families, they showed me how they used to travel to go to library at night, and how at times they would not get every literature they were looking for. Now that they can use their gadgets at home, they are able to access all the literature they want without the cost of traveling by bus and so on. That's a poor family. And the other chap in Mount Elif would have told us that he used to sell chicken pieces. Because we've connected that locality, people became aware that instead of traveling to town, they around themselves, somebody is selling chicken, and his market grew.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that when it works, there's such an exponential benefit for people. Then I think internet connectivity, your department was sharing the other day, went from just over 20% in 2011 to now around 79%. Another study I was reading is that, I suppose the unfortunate backside to that is that South Africans are highly addicted to the internet. We spend almost 10 hours a day, according to one study, on the internet. So that's the issue then. How do people apply? What's the easiest way to talk to your department from an SMME perspective, from, somebody who is living in a community that is outside access to digital technology or access Wi-Fi and things like that? How do they say, come and see us? We need to be accessed as well. We need to be connected.
You mean communities or
so it's communities and businesses outside?
No, our team is spread all over the country. There's a clear program of connecting all the 52 districts, but we're focusing on 16 districts as I'm speaking to you now. But in those districts where we were already found doing our work, there's a network, there is forum for business, there's also community, advisors, there are community meetings. We also use what we call DDM, district development, because in the DDM, you've got a structure there which involves civil society, which involves workers, which involve different departments.
So you'd say you're well connected there.
Yes.
I want to come to the issue of Postbank then and how well connected we are and your department is on that issue. We've seen systems, problems there, and I think, not so long ago you said that there were some systems upgrades that were happening. We've seen families that weren't able to access their SASSA grants because of glitches in the system. There's administrative issues with the board, and I know that you're dealing with a lot there. Where do we stand today in giving assurances to the nation that Postbank is on a path to recovery? And for those, go-go's and the old people who've been waiting often for their grants, that those delays are a thing of the past?
Iman, as far as glitches are concerned, it was a matter of the 6th of September. It ended around those 2 days. You can go and check what happened in October, what happened in November, what happened in December. We're already paying now. You can actually check. In as far as Postbank is concerned, with our 5 million clients, because we've got about 5 million social grant beneficiaries. In as far as our system are concerned, we are over and done. That system is stable and we're doing fine. The critical challenge we're faced with now is that now that the president has legislated, has signed the bill, Postbank bill, which disconnect Postbank from post office and so on, to focus on its path to become actually a world-class state bank. We are on a foundational phase where you build your IT to ensure that you've got systems that simplify interactive administration with clients so that the client's experience is good, turnaround times, security.
What are you using as a blueprint, though? There's so many successful banks in South Africa. Why not just take a model? There's a huge market that are underbanked and not banked in South Africa that you can tap into, who would see this as a boon, and a blessing in their lives effectively, because they won't make it anywhere else. So what models are you working with and what exists in the system to do this successfully and quickly?
Maybe let me give you this picture, Iman. When the new CEO, who was hardly a year, took over, she took over an institution that for about 3 years was on a disclaimer. That's what she's turning around now. 2, we had no executives for about 9 years. Out of those 7 executives, she has put in place about 5. As I'm talking to you now, she is doing what I call the foundational phase of stabilizing the IT. What am I trying to say? It's IT infrastructure and capable personnel to actually give the bank in pursuit of its mission to become a state bank capabilities. Once you've got that, you begin then to talk about which products do you sell. For instance, we're on a variation notice. What is a variation notice? When Reserve Bank puts you on a variation notice, it's when that particular type of bank, amongst its requirements, it's not meeting a particular requirement. Reserve Bank says, wait, until you correct this, we are not going to allow you to give particular services. In our situation, it was the card processing. Now, in 3 months' time, that variation is done. We hope before the end of the year that Reserve Bank would give us a fully fledged license, but we've got 2 licenses already, insurance and lending, what you call license.
Well,